ever since Street Fighter V, Capcom has done some self-reflection, where they've gone back and fixed a lot of their past mistakes. Like booty! Outside of that, Capcom has really done some self-reflection to improve its gameplay and the content within. From its gameplay, Street Fighter has always varied from game to game, with each corresponding title adding something new to the mix. Each of these mechanics are unique to that game and have never been shared outside of them, that is until now. The way the new mechanics work comes from the drive gauge, which is split into 6 drive bars, which do 3 special actions: parry, focus, and V-shift. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect game. But Professor Capcom accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction: Chemical X. Thus, Street Fighter 6 was born using their EX skills. Luke, Ryu, and Ken have dedicated their lives to the streets. One of the redefined features is parrying. It's so much easier to parry. It's just a single bomb press, and if you time it correctly, you can get perfect parries, which slows down the game, and you can go for an offensive attack. But if you hold the parry and press forward twice, you then get Drive Rush, which is like Fire's V-shift, but Drive Rush only lets the character dash forward, which I haven't used effectively yet. And then there's Drive Impact. If hit with a Drive Impact, you're gonna be stunned for a big ass combo, but it's slow enough to react to. So if you can react to the Drive Impact and do your Drive Impact, then you have the offensive. So it's really a big mind game, and I really like it. And with all of those mechanics involved, Street Fighter 6 is the most technical advanced Street Fighter game to date. And the most surprising part to me is that all of it's functional and balanced. It seemed like Capcom did their homework to make sure no one mechanic would ruin the enjoyment of the battle. But Capcom didn't stop there. They also added in 2 new control types. You now have classic, but in addition modern and dynamic. And while I would not typically want to use modern, when I did use it, I felt a great sense of ease. The way the controls are designed make using any character easy to pick up and play. During the arcade mode, I didn't want to use classic for everybody because I'm just not into their playstyle. So I switched to modern, and holy shit, it's so easy. I was doing numbers. But modern also does less damage, so yeah. There's also dynamic combos where you control the movement but not the actions. So with a few barn taps, you'll do like a crazy combo. It's good for older folk or younger kids. And I don't see Capcom ever getting rid of these, as it's kind of done their job to bring in new players, and I hope more games take influence to introduce newer players like this. But also, the amount of modes Street Fighter 6 has is insane, and is the reason why so many casuals are flocking to it. There's the arcade mode, which is fun, and it is a good way to use every character, and some of the artwork you get in there is... God damn! What? 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 God damn! What? That's crazy. That's real? Alright. There's also team battles, which is more like just team rounds. And then there's extreme battles, which are super gimmicky, but I like a lot as they remind me of MK9 modes. And the added benefit of Street Fighter is that you get to have the rules in place. You get to choose what you want. But Street Fighter 6 also adds in classic games, like Street Fighter 2, Final Fight, and some really obscure games I've never heard before. And yeah, they're very weird to play. And these we found in the World Tour mode, which I'll get into, but also online, where they're ever changing. So if you're multiplayer, there's a whole section for those arcade games, and they will change over time. But really quick, before we get to World Tour mode, online mode is fantastic. Capcom did it. They made the most fun and addictive fighting game I've ever played. The matches and the connections from all around the world is astounding. They're fast and stable. Never once did I lose connection or was it unstable. And I was able to play with console players as well as PC on launch. And no other fighting game has done that on day one. But what makes matches even better in my opinion is how fast they are. As soon as the game ends and that rematch screen pops up, As soon as the players say yes, you are in the next game. No intros, no outros, fade screens, nothing. You're thrusted in the next game there and then. And the most amount of time spent would just be the end credit. And because of how fast they are, you don't even realize how much time has gone by. I remember it was 2 p.m. to then 9 p.m. It's incredibly fun, and in the span of 15 minutes, I've already been in 10 games just because of how fast it was. And I got better as a player without getting frustrated or annoyed. I didn't need to think, and more fighting games need to do this. This is the way of fighting games today. And even better, with online, you can even get your own custom character to fight other people's custom characters. Even though it's kind of bullshit, because if you haven't played World Tour mode, your character can be more powerful than the others, which is pretty stupid. But otherwise, pretty good anyway. But now we move on to World Tour. What is it? Well, before we get into it, you have to create a character. And how has Capcom created the greatest custom character since Saints Row 2? Like seriously, you can create whatever and whoever you want. The amount of choice that's present is astounding. But the only problem is that you can only use normal human skin tones. That sucks, but hopefully that gets changed later on. But other than that, World Tour mode takes you to the streets of Metro City, where you can customize, level up your character, romance, explore, and do fun little mini games. And you also get to travel around the world, but they're very small. On initial playthrough, World Tour mode seemed awesome, but the more I was playing it, the more burnt out I was becoming. World Tour mode is the story mode for the game, but it's incredibly bad because of how boring it is. It's worse than 5, because at least in 5 it was hilariously bad. Here it's just bland. Your character doesn't act or really react, and the story modes are incredibly dumb. And the cutscenes themselves are written by what feels like someone who's trying to make a B-grade movie, but somehow made a worse movie than B-grade. And when it came to the gameplay loop, it became really repetitive fast. You can meet your favorite characters throughout the world, but they only have about 2 pieces of dialogue and that's it. You can go back and try to romance them, but don't bother. And Metro City is too big and boring. You can run down whole streets with nothing in them. It is fun going around fighting random NPCs, but that can only be fun for so long. Leveling up a character takes too long, getting cool cosmetics takes too long, and exploring takes too long. It just isn't fun for me. But for those who enjoy it, more power to you. For me, the gameplay for Street Fighter 6 has to get a 9 out of 10, only because I don't like Capcom's DRM de nouveau practices and their DLC practices of trying to force people to buy their costumes by making the grind so hard or so long. Anyway, that is it for me. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. If not, yeah, it just is what it is, I guess.